In the previous lesson, we discussed how we could write the equation of a circle in standard form, in which we can identify h and k, the center, and the radius squared. Today we are going to look at what we can do when we're not given the equation of a circle in standard form, but rather in general form, and we are asked to find the radius or the center in order to graph the circle. This will bring us back to a skill that we learned in Algebra 1, completing the square. If you'll recall, this is a quadratic formula. Quadratic formulas are in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We are going to go ahead and take this formula and create a square. In other words, something that would give us a perfect trinomial square, which was factorable. In order to do this, we're going to go ahead and move that minus 3 to the other side. So let's go ahead and subtract 3 from both sides. Please recall that whatever you do to the left, you must do to the right in order for your equation to maintain equality. So now in place of that 3 that we moved, I'm going to place a little box for our new number. On the opposite side now, I'm going to have equals negative 3. In order to continue, we're going to go ahead for the number 10x, and we're going to take the b term. Notice that the b term always is with the linear term, with the x. We're going to go ahead and take the b term here, and we're going to divide it in half and square it in order to complete the square. So we're going to do 10 divided by 2, and we're going to square it, and that's going to give us 5 squared, which equals 25. There are two important things here. This 5 that is being squared and 25, the total. Since we are adding 25 in essence to the left side of the equation, we must also add it to the right side of the equation. Let's clean this up. We have x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 22. All right, so now we're ready to show the left side factored. What is the square? This is a perfect trinomial square. What is the square root of the first term? That would be x. What is the square root of the last term? That would be 5. So in essence, this is x plus 5 squared is equal to 22. Our goal for now is just to leave the equation like that, or the quadratic like that, in order to find what the center of the circle is and the radius. Now, you try this. X squared plus 8x minus 1 equals 0. Pause the video, try this by yourself, and come back when you have the answer. So let's see. Remember that our first step is to plus 1 to both sides. That'll bring us to x squared plus 8x plus a box to keep the space is equal to 1. Then if you'll recall, we take our b term. You take the b term, you divide it in half, and you square it. So we have 8 divided by 2 squared, which is going to give us 4 squared, which equals 16. So now we're ready to go. We're going to add 16 to both sides. So we will add 16 here. And remember, we have to add it on the other side to maintain the equality. That brings us to x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 17. Now we have a perfect trinomial square. The square root of the first term is x. The square root of the second term is 16. If you'll recall, it's the 4 that we squared. Plus 4 squared is equal to 17. And if this is what you got the right answer. Stay tuned for part 2, which will show you the general form of a circle and how to derive the standard form of the circle using completing the square.